much, Sam, and I'm grateful to be here this evening. I've listened very carefully to the conversations, and I have the following probably to say, the following comments. One, when you listen to Kenyans, they argue as if it is too punitive. The taxation, the structure of it, the content of the taxation, the composition of what has already been brought on board is very punitive, and they're picking out on 4 issues mainly. These 4 issues are when it comes to the motor vehicle levy, the bread issue, the eco tax, and the tax on financial services. Then there are even arguments that they don't even feel adequately represented. And I think commenting on the finance bill, first of all, everyone in this country is entitled to a good environment, especially to do business. Let's say, first of all, for survival. And secondly, to do business and survive, and make profits.
Great.
And some of the questions the Kenyans are asking is, what is value added in financial services, for instance? So, looking at the 4, if I may single out the 4.
Great.
First of all, the financial services have somehow touched on people who have not been formally taxed. This is most of them, of those who are likely now to be captured in this particular tax bracket, are mainly those who have not been included in the previous. Like one of the speakers has very carefully said, that some of those who are now going to be finding themselves paying taxes have not been quite involved in paying taxes. Why? Because they are not formally employed. If you look at the last finance bill, the last year's finance bill, and this finance bill, it seems to open up, to spread to others. Now, the levels of inclusion in this case now touch on the very delicate segment of the community, of the population, the hustler. And, of course, the Kenya Kwanza government was voted in through the slogan of the hustler movement,
right,
and support the hustler. But these hustlers need an operating environment. These hustlers need to be facilitated in one way or another. The government has a plan that requires financing. This plan is what will moderate the environment into which these hustlers will do their business. It is this plan that is going to make sure that there is more employment created for Kenyans who are not employed, and therefore increase or rather open up more of the revenue base. It is through taxation that the government will continue expanding the boundaries in terms of developing the economy. Now, there are indicators that we don't need to lose sight of. First of all, the first indicator that we need to look at carefully, and in view of today's budget, is the fact that there is significant reduction in the fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit that has been posted this afternoon is 3.3%. Last year's budget was around 5.2, 5.3%. A reduction of around 2% fiscal deficit on GDP is quite significant, if I may say that.
Right.
On the other hand, when you look at the economic indicators that people look at basically to assess whether the situation is that bad, is that, first of all, the inflation rates are low. The Kenyan inflation rates are really, I can give you the figures because I think I picked that from the conversation in Parliament.
Yeah.
There is also the issue of the shilling has strengthened, and we have gained as a country from the strengthening of the shilling. We have gained about 65 billion to the budget, and that's one of the reasons why we went to occasion the supplementary budget.
Daktari Mutunga, kwa sababu kuna wananchi ambao wanatazama na baadhi yao wametaja kwamba haya masuala ya ushuru nyinyi kama viongozi mnapoyazungumzia mnayafanya na kuwa magumu mno. Ukisema kuna fiscal deficit ya 3.3%, 5.2%, ukisema kuna inflation rate ambayo imeenda chini, unasema nini?
Okay, vile nasema namaanisha kama ni inflation, namaanisha ile gharama ya ununuzi wa vitu kwa Kenya. Unajua kuna ile tunaita around sijui inaitwaje kwa Kiswahili, but ya macroeconomic indicators. Yani inaonyesha vile uchumi uko. Pengine ndugu yangu atanisaidia pale because you may have the language. But ile kitu ninasema ni kwamba uchumi unaibuka. The hope that Kenyans should have is that the economy is improving. There are clear signs of an improving economy. Kwa sababu ile pesa sisi tunatakana tu factor ile tunasema kuna bajeti yenyewe na kuna ile pesa inakuwa imepangiwa kukusanywa katika wakati. It means therefore that we are going to collect less, we are going to demand to look for less. In other words, if it is borrowing, we are going to borrow less. Now, some of the speakers have spoken about the way we have been missing the target. And probably, if an economy has to grow, there must be deliberate engagement of a greater majority of the population in productive sectors. So if we have to encourage that, then SMEs must be, first of all, protected. We must be able to grow these SMEs. But even as we grow these SMEs, there must be ways of also SMEs giving back. Maybe what we need to look at is the figures, the proportions of, which the government is demanding, or rather the Finance Bureau is proposing. Okay. The proportions of 16% plus maybe 20% and so on. We need to go back there and look at them. However, we need to realize that every service provider in this country levies the consumer of the service. So since we are not able probably to have...
Yes, I hear you. And